Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Marcia Erickson. I'm host for today's conversation. My guest today is Andrew Sivertsen, senior financial planner and co-owner of the Planning Center in Moline, Illinois. We're going to talk about his business, his journey to ownership, the challenges he's faced, the wins along the way, and get a real look at what it's like to build and run a business. Welcome, Andrew. How are you?
Marcia, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Before we dig in, I'd love for you to give us a quick background on you and tell us a little bit about your business in the Planning Center.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a Quad City native. Grew up in Moline. Went to Moline High School, and then I went to the University of Illinois and graduated in 2004 with a degree in finance. And in the early 2000s, there wasn't very many degrees in financial planning. Didn't even really
Yeah.
know that financial planning existed as a career.
Yeah.
But kind of my strong suit was just kind of math, science, problem solving. And actually, my older brother Matt Sivertsen is one of my partners here at the Planning Center. He started in the early 2000s, and we were having conversations about what he was doing and what I was looking, into doing, and didn't really know what finance meant. I thought that might be working for a big bank or insurance company, which didn't sound super amazing to a 21-year-old.
Right.
So I did work for a few nonprofits for a couple of years, and then through conversations with my brother, realized that a career in financial planning where you could work one-on-one with individuals and families just was a great alignment with kind of my skills and then just kind of my values of serving others. And so I joined in 2007. So.
Wow. Tell us who's in the business now. Is it just you two?
No, we're actually we have five offices around the country. Although Moline is kind of our headquarters, our main office. We have right now about 30 full-time employees,
Wow.
and we have I think eight senior financial planners. We've got four kind of either associate planners or financial planning analysts that are working to become financial planners. And then kind of we also have several tax advisors on our team, and then various ops staff as well. So
Wow. What role are you playing in the business on the day-to-day now that you've built it?
yeah, so we've kind of I'd say over the last like 6, 7 years, we've really institutionalized. So we've kind of created a formal governance structure. What is kind of interesting is we have 13 shareholders. So for a company of 30 to have that many owners is probably a fairly unusual. But we kind of merged quite a few offices together. That's how we got five offices around the country. And and so, with that, like when, we kind of realized once we hit 10 owners, there was just too many cooks in the kitchen, right, to make decisions and said, okay, we need to create like a formal board of directors, hire, have someone who's going to be our CEO, and then kind of create like a formal management team, and with operations and finance and et cetera. And so right now I do serve on our board of directors. Three of us from the shareholder group were nominated to do that. So we kind of oversee kind of the bigger strategic vision, long-term vision, work with the CEO on developing that. And then our CEO leads our management team, which includes like our COO, CFO, Chief Compliance Officer, and then our head of our tax team and our head of our planning team and marketing, business development, et cetera. So
Yeah. Wow. There's so much there to unpack and a lot of things that our listeners probably haven't experienced. So tell us about, I mean, you've got growing through acquisition, right? So acquiring another practice, there's a lot there. Um, Tell us what are some of the learnings from that, right? If someone hasn't done that before, what were some of the hurdles that you overcame? What are you most proud of? What would you tell someone else going into a situation like that?
it's a lot of work. And there's a reason why the statistics are what they are. How many businesses that merge wind up
Mhm.
failing and unwinding. It is a lot, and I give huge credit to our CEO Eric Keys, just who through that time wasn't the CEO, but kind of stepped in and took that and really kind of held everything together. I think um, what really allowed us is just starting with seeing each other as people, rather than just realizing that everybody has kind of needs, their things that they value and understand. And so it really takes a lot of just communication, a lot of asking questions, listening, make sure we have full understanding before we're jumping to conclusions or making decisions, and just making sure that everybody kind of understands. And so I think it's been a lot of shared sacrifice. Everybody's had to give up something, to go from kind of a small office with a lot of control to creating a much bigger entity that will outlive all of us. So
Yeah. That's a lot. Let talk. It comes down to people, right? Isn't it fascinating when often you go into an acquisition situation, you're thinking cash flow, P&L, right? Business and finance, and really it comes down to the people is what I find really fascinating. Tell me about that's a lot of different cultures to merge into one culture. How did you guys approach that work? And how would you describe the culture you've created?
yeah, in some ways, I think the disruption of a pandemic really kind of helped that. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, I think prior to 2000, we kind of had this Moline office that was kind of just like this huge gravitational force, and then the other offices that maybe didn't feel like they had voices, and trying to create shared systems. And when we had to send everybody home with their laptops, realizing, okay, it was kind of equal playing field, because now every single person was in their own kind of space. And so we
Yeah.
instead of having each office gather in a little training room, and then we're having like a full company training with 4 or 5 cameras. Now we've got 30 cameras or whatever we were at the time.
Yeah.
Where everybody's kind of on equal space, and that's kind of been something we've continued even as we move back into offices. So it just really allowed us to restructure our systems, so we could move from 5 different phone systems to one online system, and just how we do meetings. That really, I think, just helped us change that and get better alignment, and kind of get past those cultural differences, and really connect and jive as one company, one kind of virtual ensemble versus fragmented multiple groups. So
Yeah. How would you describe the culture that you've created now?
I would say our culture is very amazing. It's still very people first.
Yeah.
So we one thing that we do is every single year we gather together as a company. It's a significant, financial investment into our
Mhm.
team, where we pick a location. It's typically in the Midwest, kind of closer to our 2 biggest offices, Moline and Chicago, so that group can drive, and then we fly in those who are further away.
Okay.
And typically we usually are focusing on connection. One, just since we're not in the office all together around a water cooler, how can we foster that kind of a connection and
Yeah.
closeness that you might get with a single office, as well as communication. So we do spend a lot of time on, okay, how can we just have better conversations? How can we help express like what our needs are, what we're looking for, and just see people. So I think that's really just valuing who we are and who each person is, has been really special about our culture.
Yeah. How do you decide? Let's talk about how you built that team. What are some of the criteria you use for bringing either a practice on or even new financial planners to the group?
Uh, Yeah, great question. First off, we haven't done a, merger acquisition since 2017, so we did
Okay.
hit a pretty big pause on that. Through from
Good.
2012 to 2017 is when we did all the mergers, and then a couple years of sorting that out, and then as I kind of mentioned, we kind of went into a period of governance and institutionalizing.
Yeah.
Um, but when we were deciding, it was we were so our original founder, Marty Kurtz, who's now retired about 5 years, was just really involved in our National Financial Planning Association and just networking and just kind of found other like-minded firms that had similar values and culture to ours, and
Mm.
just how they thought about financial planning and said, hey, wouldn't it be better if we just teamed up together? And so that's kind of how it was. I think, as you mentioned, it comes down to the people. So it's more looking at who are we, trying to put together on the bus versus, how can we, figure out P&Ls and profit and all the financial type of stuff. It was more about the people, even in bringing together those companies. And even I think with our most of our growth now has been through hiring, and as we were thinking about who we're bringing on, we do a lot of assessments. We do like the Colby Strength Finders.
Yeah.
We do one's called Emergenetics. Just kind of goes through your thinking style. So we're spending a lot of
Yeah.
time just kind of understanding, who people are, how they think, how they interact with folks. So, and we really, even in our job descriptions, like we're the first couple paragraphs are really talking about our culture and who we are before we even get into what is the job and the benefits.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Every business owner is growing through something. What are you guys growing through now? So you brought on all these firms. Now what? What's next?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, we started a new hiring initiative where we're okay. The last 6, 7 years, we kind of went from, back in the 2010s, all the advisors were kind of helping to run the business and helping to run operations and billing and just all the various things to creating, like I said, kind of that institutionalized structure. So then, like myself and the other advisors, we weren't having to run around taking care of the business. We could just focus on our clients. And, so we were able to kind of, grow through that stretch, by not hiring any more advisors, just letting our advisors do more of what they do best.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of to the point where, okay, if we want to continue to grow and expand, we need to now focus on developing the next generation of financial planning talent. So we've brought on, within the last, I think, two couple of 2 years, four new kind of either associate planners or financial planning analysts that we are trying to train and develop. And I think we'll continue to probably over the next few years hire a few more. And so I think that's kind of our one of our biggest initiatives is we've done a pretty good job of recruiting the talent, and we're right now we've been refining and developing our training programs to really help train them into great financial planners. And then what is it we need to do to retain them? So we'll
Yeah.
we'll see. That'll be kind of a challenge over the next 3 to 5 years. Our hope is that we've created such a great place and such a great culture and training and job and compensation and benefits package that they'll want to stay and be a part of the planning center.
Yeah. Wow,
And
you guys are
then,
really, really focused on the HR part, the people part of your business. Love it.
yep, yeah. And then probably, I think as many companies are trying to just grapple with how rapid technology is changing. And we've always tried to be on the forefront. We don't want to be in the bleeding edge of things, and especially in our profession, we are highly regulated, so we need to adopt technologies safely.
Mhm.
But it is just amazing how a lot of the generative AI technology is creating the ability, for us to create efficiencies and enhancements so that we can broaden our services, continue to develop deeper relationships with our clients and people. And so, how do we use these systems effectively, safely, and so I think that's another probably big business agenda that we're focusing on.
Yeah. Yeah. Where have you found the biggest gains so far implementing some AI technology?
Sure. So, I mean, what we've adopted so far is being able to have some note taker systems that
Yeah.
can join us right on Zoom meetings, and
Oh,
it's really allowed us to be more present in the conversation. So you don't have
yeah.
to worry about, okay, I got to grab that action item. I gotta, hold on, let
Oh,
me pause and jot this down. You can just kind of state it, just
yeah.
yeah, I'll make an action item for this, and it just magically pops up in your
Yep.
your your post meeting summary. Um, so really, I think that's been a great example of how we're leveraging technology to just be more focused, more present in the conversation with our clients, and then allow, the technology to do what it does best and just kind of record and summarize and document and then prepare a nice list for follow-up. So
Yeah.
um,
Let's shift gears just a little bit. Business owners always looking for marketing strategies, right? What's the latest, the greatest, what's working, what's not working, what works for you and your team to promote your services to potential clients.
Well, we're big believers that our biggest promoters are the people we work with, So I would say, you know, well over 50% of our new business comes from client referral, and so just doing great work, and continuing to do that, winds up being one of the greatest things that we can do. And so, how can we kind of talk to clients about just what it is we do, what are the, things that they're not aware of, and, that at the end of the day, I don't think people want to help Andrew and the planning center and bring us business. They want to help people, right? So,
Yeah.
helping them understand, who it is or how they can help, and then how to make a connection, so it's usually as simple as not asking for a referral, but, saying when you have friends and family that are coming across these needs, these are things that the planning center can help with. And then how do you make that connection? Because a lot of times they'll say, oh, you should talk to Andrew at the planning center. But now it's in their court, right? And it's but if they can, well, hey, just, like, this is how you could, make an introduction. So kind of just, helping clients understand that really helps, build and develop that. But beyond that, I think we also have tried to implement a lot of strategies that really do improve our search engine optimization, and now what are they calling it? Generative engine
Yeah.
optimization. So we do work with some marketing consultants. We've developed, trying to just create a lot of content so that, one, it can benefit our current clients, but then the greater community at large. So we've got regular kind of newsletter content. We've also launched our own podcast within the last year, which
Yeah.
has received real great feedback. Our staff have loved being a part of that,
Yeah.
bringing in guest speakers, etc. We started a webinar series that we do a few of throughout the year. So slightly different, format and content, and then of
Yeah.
course just putting a lot of things out on social. And then I think our business model winds up just attracting a certain set of clients. So if they're looking for a specific type of financial planning, then a lot of times we're the ones, because of the work we've done, that are coming forward. So we do get a fair amount of inbound, inorganic traffic of people reaching out, interested in services too.
Yeah, so many things in there. One, to say that it's just referrals, you're intentional around it though, right? So you mentioned a lot of great things like training your team, right? How do I have the conversation? Then coaching your clients to actually have that conversation and know who to refer and how to refer them. And then the AI stuff is so important, like you said, to be everywhere, right? The cool part about AI is I tell clients it will show you where it's looking to find you. You need to be in those places.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you really are doing a lot of, I mean, that was a great marketing plan right there. Yeah, that's awesome. Really, really good stuff. Where are you guys going from here? So we talked about, some growth. You're kind of growing your next generation of advisors. What's the next 3 to 5 years look like for you for the planning center?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I think we have a 3-year plan of how many staff we think we're going to be, how many clients we think we're going to work with. I think we really love each planner loves what they do, right? And the ability to just help families and see them through various transitions, financial transitions, and just getting to come back to the team with stories of things that have happened. And so when we can help more families, that's great, right? So that's what our mission is to create a safe place for individuals and families to have a place to for everyone to have a place to talk about life and money, right? And we're here to kind of be here to help be stewards and be a part of that. And so, I think I don't know if we'll do another acquisition. I think some talk has, okay, have we kind of settled the ship and become established enough that we could maybe uh, begin acquiring again for finding the right people, the right offices to join. I
Yeah.
think 3 years might be a little short on that timeline. So I'd say, yeah, probably in the next 3 years, we're going to be probably hiring a few more planners, really try and get them set up and prepared
Yeah.
and transition into lead planners. I think we'll maybe only have one senior planner retire in that time frame. So, I
Wow.
think we'll be able to just kind of continue to grow and establish. And I don't know if we'll have any strategic hires around, maybe like an internal marketing or HR person, some of that, things that are on
Yeah.
the wish list. So yeah, I think it's just going to be sustainable growth,
Hmm.
and strengthening the team and continuing to develop our services.
Yeah. Intentional growth. I love that you have a strategic plan and that you guys are following it. So you're taking time out to actually plan that growth and be intentional around it and looking at what's next. Who is let's talk about your clients a little bit. So you were discussing um the clients that you serve. What makes you guys a little bit unique and who are typical clients for you and what would make them choose the planning center?
Yeah, so we work with individuals and families, so that can be a broad range of people. I'd say probably over half of our new clients are probably mid-career, so they're probably 35 to
Okay.
50. They are, it's life is starting to get complex. They're having families. They're starting to earn higher wages, starting to build their net worth. Okay, I need to go seek out a financial planner and start working with them. We still get a fair number of clients that maybe are kind of more in that late career. Okay, gosh, I've been putting this off, and
Mm,
and now this is getting real. I'm maybe less than 10 years out. Like I need to. I think I'm okay, but let's make a plan. Let's get together. And we do occasionally bring on, not a lot, but sometimes we bring on clients who are retired. Although probably about a third of our clients, if not more, are already retired. So we do work with retirees. And the planning center, we are a 28-year-old company now. We are independent, so we just work directly for our clients, which is great. We don't have to. We're not limited by any restrictions that that kind of a big brokerage house or insurance company might limit their advisors to what they can do or look at for their clients. So being independent is really nice. We are also what is called fee only, which means the only compensation we receive is directly from our clients. So we don't receive commissions or soft dollars or referral fees or anything like that. And what I like about that is it sets us up to be what's called fiduciaries,
Yeah.
which means we're legally and ethically bound to act in our clients' best interest period, right? So we have to put their interest above our own, and we've got a great service and fee model that I think lines up well with that. And so I think that's what really when people are searching for financial planners or fee only or fiduciary, they've kind of read an article about those things, and that really is kind of what we've focused on in our marketing plan, et cetera, to make sure that when people are looking for that type of financial planner, that they find us. We're also comprehensive in kind of the wealth management space. So we really focus on financial planning first, but then we also do investment management services for our clients. And then not a lot of firms like ours do this, but we provide tax planning and preparation services too. So I mentioned earlier we have tax advisors on the
Yeah.
team. So to be able to kind of be that one central location where you can go for, we've just found financial planning and investments and tax are just so interrelated, in that
Yep.
space that I think has been a tremendous value add to our clients. And so those are usually the reasons clients are typically prospective clients are seeking us out.
Yeah. That's great. I didn't realize you had that, all of that. Anything, my financial planner says anything that has to do with the dollar sign, you come to me. And it sounds like you guys are absolutely set up that way. I love it. How about some rapid fire questions? Are you ready?
Okay, I'm nervous.
The clock's ticking. Okay. What is the key to success for you?
The key to success, for me, I think is curiosity. Uh, and I remember learning very early on in my career when I kind of got left to be a lead financial planner, and you'd meet with kind of a prospective client, and I'd get to the end of the meeting and I was like, gosh, my throat is sore. Like, what is going on here? Like and I realized I'm like I'm so excited about like, okay, telling someone about who the planning center is and what we can do for them, that I didn't spend any time getting to know them. And so it's really as I kind of learn, what is great about me is I'm always kind of interested in, why is that? Like, and so that curiosity, and it doesn't matter if you're someone who I've just met or someone I've been working with now for, gosh, almost 20 years. Like there's got to be something new that is going to be that I'm excited to learn about and be curious. So just I think being curious about other people, and who they are, what their values are, what's important to them. And then that's where, okay, once you understand that, is there anything that I could do that can, enhance and improve and make better those values, goals, and beliefs. And so I think that's been something that's been great on how I've been able to be a part of the planning center, both on the business side and then as a financial planner, is just that excitement around always learning, so constantly growing, even beyond just people. Like I just pride myself in anytime there's something new or some new topic that comes out that's been passed by Congress or whatever it is, like, okay, let's go learn this new thing. And so I
Yeah.
love learning, I love curiosity, and growing and getting to know others. So
I love that. I use that word quite often in coaching. It gets us out of a lot of situations too, right? It helps us. It's clear you are interested in personal and professional growth, and it helps us uncover blind spots and helps us when we get stuck often too, I think. So that's awesome. What's one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
One piece of advice. Well, I also work with a professional coach, so not action coach, but I know you reached out to us, and
Yeah.
it's been a huge thing that very early on our founder was like, hey, like each all of our planners and management team, like I think they should meet monthly with a professional coach,
Yeah.
and it's just been a huge enhancement to me and my career. Like I feel like
Yeah.
it's made me a better person, a better husband, a better father, a better business owner, a better planner. Having someone that you can kind of just talk through what your personal and professional goals are, and just being able to kind of flesh out all these ideas. Like you can when you're, especially for small business owners, we can get distracted and you're chasing various things. So how do you prioritize? How do you do that? And I really do think you're positioned well to work alongside people, and so that it's been
Yeah.
a great benefit that our company's provided. I've been very very happy, and
Yeah.
it's been a huge thing I think for our business and career.
That's great. That's great. You can tell. Um, yeah, you can often tell when someone's been coached. You've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Um, Book or podcast that you're listening to or reading right now? What's that?
Uh, Book or podcasts. Well, obviously, I've been listening to our recent podcast. My book that I just started is actually written by a friend of mine, and it's sitting right here. So it's Tractor Wars, and it's
Ooh,
by Neil Dahlstrom. So it's he works for John Deere, and it's just
yeah.
kind of a fascinating little read. So it's nothing like personal development. It's just kind of like, hey, I've got a friend who's written this book,
Yeah.
and so excited to learn about kind of the history of our community. It's just very fascinating. Got to sit in on several um, speakers and presentations back when Moline had its sesquicentennial. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Gosh, now it's been a couple of years since had to learn that
Yeah.
word. But where it was talking about the history of the John Deere family and everything, and just a very interesting heritage to our special community here.
Yeah. Well, it ties back into your curiosity, right? Your comment and your success. And yeah, I know Neil. That's awesome. I haven't picked it up yet, but now you're making me, I think I'll grab it on the way
Jump on
home.
Amazon and go get his book.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, so this is kind of a fun question. So think about the business. If you had just a little bit of magic dust in your pocket and you could sprinkle it on one aspect of the business, what would that be? Where would you sprinkle that dust?
Ooh, uh, sprinkle some magic dust. I think everyone needs a little just capacity, So, um, I think if we could just, anything we can do to kind of speed up our training program to
Yeah.
get, our planning analysts and associate planners, where they're able to take a load off of our senior advisors who are now starting to reach capacity. Our operations team, I think we've done a nice job of creating sustainable growth, but there's just when you're trying to do comprehensive wealth management, there's always more you can do, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like what more can we do? And so if we could magically get these new AI agents and all these things to, in a compliant way to, allow us to spend less time with, certain types of tasks and more time with, other, relational tasks. I think that would, um, be a great way to speed through the next 3 years. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're describing is leveraging, right? Leveling up. You want your team to level up and get rid of the things that aren't adding as much value so they can do what they do best, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that. One question I want to circle back to. So you were talking about hiring new talent. I find a lot of business owners now are wanting to hire in less tenured, right? Team members and then grow them and train them. And it sounds like you guys are doing the same. Tell me about your recruitment efforts. How are you finding the new team members that you want to?
Uh, yeah. So, our profession kind of has this stigma where you maybe get these sole practitioners who maybe create a business or start working with some clients like, gosh, I need help. Like if I could just find someone with 5 years experience, like the problem is that those people, they don't exist. They're they're few and far between, right? If
Yeah,
they're usually pretty established, we found that it's usually best if we can typically bring someone in and just completely train them our way, right?
yeah, yeah.
Versus, oh, let's find someone that somebody else trained, and
And
that's not even
retrain
how
them the
we
way.
do things or think about things. So from like an advisor standpoint, we are looking for people who are either already in or have recently completed their CFP, to be a certified
Yeah.
financial planner, and maybe they still need their work experience to use the credentials. And so people who are, highly motivated to be a certified financial planner. And we've had success just putting out on our most recent hires. We're just putting out on LinkedIn and I think Indeed and Facebook, and we usually get a broad enough pool of applicants
Yeah.
that are looking for firms like ours. We're being kind of that smaller independent space. Just like we attract clients, I think we also attract a certain type of financial planners. So I think we're kind of bringing that talent in. So that's been great. Same thing I think with our operations team. I think leading with our culture has really helped. One aspect is right now, CPAs and EAs are very hard to find. That's
Yes.
probably been one of our biggest challenges. Um, but when we kind of like talk about our culture and how we're so proactive throughout the year working with a select clientele, so we're not going to be like the big accounting groups where they've got them working 80 plus hours a week during tax season and are just completely like burn out. It's like how can we do this in a much more sustainable way? And
Yeah.
I think, for some EAs and CPAs who are burnt out by that model are like, oh gosh, like does this really exist? Um, so I think, that's been helpful where we've have in the past had to go use a headhunter for one or two positions, but usually we've just led with who we are and our culture and used your typical hiring sites, and we've been able to find real great people. So
That's great. That's great. You guys are doing a lot of great work. I can tell, particularly on culture, and you can tell what's important to you guys. So really, really fun conversation. How can people find you? So whether they just want to talk to Andrew and get some advice because you have some incredible expertise and experience. If they are interested in maybe coming on board, as an advisor, or if they're looking for someone to manage their money, how can they find you?
yeah, and like I said, we're our mission is to create a safe space for everyone to be able to talk about life and money. And so if they just go to our website, which is www.theplanningscenter.com, there is very easy to go find the contact us link and fill in a couple of short questions, and it just books a 15-minute phone call with any one of our advisors across. Like we just have a team of us who are part of a shared calendar
Mhm.
and then they can go find that 15 minutes, and then we're able to kind of talk a little bit about who they are, what they're looking for, and if our services and fee model work well, and if not, like we go the extra mile to give them resources. Well, actually, like what you're looking for is not really what we do, but here are a couple great companies that do what you're looking for. So we've got a list of referral sources for various types of planning services that people are looking for, whether it's hourly or project based, or if it needs to be at a lower price point than what ours is, like where are the places that they can kind of go, and then kind of explaining what if they are looking for fee only, and fiduciaries, what are the networks where they can kind of go find different types of planners for that. So that's the
Wow.
easiest way to connect, is just with a brief 10-15 minute, phone call. They can just schedule that right online, and connect with one of our members of our team. And and if you're uh, local to the Quad Cities, and you wind up talking to JJ, our financial planner in California, because his convenient schedule works for later evenings, you'll be like, hey, that's fine. Like, I'll just connect you with Andrew, or Matt, or
Yeah.
someone in the Moline office, and then we'll do a full consultation after that call. So
Oh, that's great. That's great. So there's really no risk to picking up the phone and just reaching out, or going to your website and booking a time.
right, and just finding out
Yeah,
if they line up well, and if not, we're gonna try and connect you with where you should be. So
that's great.
it's a huge benefit. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Andrew, I think we could talk all day. This was a great conversation. I'm super impressed. Thank you for sharing your story and your time with us. To everyone watching, save the show, come back. So many tidbits in here, so many pieces of great advice. They've been on an incredible journey, and there's lots to learn here. Um, he gave us some great insight. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when a new conversation drops. Thanks to all of you, and a special thanks to you, Andrew, for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.
Yep. Take care.